Speaking on behalf of Canela Kids and Canela Media, we have the director of Canela Kids, Maggie Salas-Amaro, is with us. Round of applause. Okay. We also have Camilo Osuna, who you saw earlier today on the virtual production panel, who's the business developer for iKartoons. Welcome, Camilo.
Thank you. Thanks.
New MMFM with us this year. He is the COO and partner for FlipaClip, Adri Ofman.
Hello.
And you may have seen this guy before, especially today. You're on today, my friend. The founder of Kijik Multimedia and Xavatar, also the chair of the MMFM Advisory Committee, Mr. Kevin Sharpley. Give it up. So, as you can tell, in animation we have a lot of clips. So this time I'm going to do kind of the reverse. I'm going to play your clip first, and then you can talk about yourself and about your clip. How's that? All right. Ay, Dios mío.
It's late. That's worrying.
I'm waiting for the happy hour. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of happy.
Happy.
Very happy.
Oh, here we go. Peter.
¿Lista? ¡Vamos a la aventura! ¡Yay! Somos las superellas y con nuestro libro mágico viajamos en el tiempo. ¡Ay! Conociendo increíbles latinas que cambiaron el mundo. ¡Oh! ¡Mira, Nelly! ¡Vamos! ¡Qué divertido! ¡Somos las superellas!
Okay, welcome, Maggie. So glad you could be with us today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with Canela.
So, thank you so much for the invitation. My name is Maggie Salas-Amaro. I've lost count of the number of years I've been in this industry, so I won't date myself. Peter knows I've known Peter from iKartoons for a long time. So, I am the director of Canela Kids. I started the platform 2.5 years ago. And we are a media company that started out wanting to do advertising, and we've turned into the first AVOD service for Hispanics in the U.S. And also across Latin America. Superellas is a passion project that we started. The first season looks nothing like this one. This is season 2. That was done with our friends at iKartoons. They were our work for hire, but they are our friends, and they put as much creativity and passion as we did into these stories of Latina trailblazers. So when they told me, what would an original look like for a kid service? I said, if we're trying to celebrate Hispanic heritage, and wanting people to stay excited as they grow up being Latin and learning about their roots, let's make a show, an animated show about trailblazers. So in season 1, we featured, personalities like Frida Kahlo, Isabel Allende. And in season 2, we are featuring Zoe Saldaña, Jennifer Lopez, Gabriela Sabatini, and 4 other ones that will be coming very soon. And we have a lot of other projects in the pipeline that we work with. We have acquired content that we work with global distributors like Mattel and Hasbro to bring to life to our platform. It's costly. So when we decided to do this original, we obviously looked around for incentives, which was a conversation before this one. And we're still, wanting to establish more incentives here in Florida, more incentives in Miami-Dade County to be able to, employ people here and not have these costly productions, because for us and for iKartoons, it's a passion project. And so we go in saying, they're probably not making a lot of money. And I'm getting, like I was telling them before we started talking, I'm getting my budget constantly cut because advertisers are more demanding every day. And the landscape is changing. Streaming has changed everything. We are in a global landscape where there's 500 million people that speak Spanish. And we want to continue to offer quality programming to those audiences so that they don't go to the English services. They continue to come to our Spanish-speaking services.
Very well said, Maggie. Thank you for that. Speaking of iKartoons, Camilo, we have a clip for you as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to play that first.
Okay.
I go further.
So as mentioned earlier, I'm the business developer for iKartoons. We are an animation studio based here in Miami with partners and talent located in the US, also in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and sometimes in other countries, depending on where the talent is located. So, very happy to find and develop new partnerships and new clients, like it's Canela TV. So now I have the big responsibility to find new businesses, new opportunities, and find other opportunities in non-traditional buying sectors of animation that was mentioned earlier in the panel previous to this one. So very happy, and thanks for the opportunity, Jose Luis, for being here.
Awesome. Thank you, Camilo. And thanks to iKartoons to help actually put this panel together because, obviously you invited Maggie, who's so great to meet Maggie. Also, Adri, who's with us today, FlipaClip. So I have a few clips from FlipaClip. So let's see if, do you care the order that I play them in? Or no? Sorry. So I'll play one that you can talk about it and we'll play another one. Let's do it like that. It'll be more fun. Oh wait, that's the. Awesome.
All right, I'm Adri Ofman, COO and partner at FlipaClip. FlipaClip is the app, the mobile app that was used to create that animation, not by me. I got a confession to make. I'm a horrible animator. I don't know anything about animation. But FlipaClip is the #1 animation app in the app stores, both iOS and Android. We have short of 7 million monthly unique animators working on projects like that one every single month. Particularly, that one was made by a 17-year-old kid in Strasbourg, France, named Yanis. He spent $0 on that 30-second animation. He did it all using a iPhone. One finger, nothing else. Everything you see there is pure 2D animation, frame by frame. It took him about 3 weeks to get that done.
Wow. That's a way to lower their budget, I guess. No.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let's play another clip, and then you can run through that one.
Sure.
Cameron. Oh my god. And you see this video? I had so many. Oh my god. Hey, do you think you could just move your arm a little bit?
What?
Like, over there in your armrest and down on mine? Because you're kind of
Oh
all
my
over.
god.
Oh my god.
That's what you sound like.
Just. Oh my god.
Enough already.
Did you just. Did you. Oh my god. Did you just punch me?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
In my throat?
And I don't feel bad about it either.
Some people just know no bounds, no boundaries, no personal space. Or maybe they do, and it's just that they just don't care. Whether it be a stranger on the bus that sits too close to you when there is room all over the bus, but they want to sit right next to you, all up on you, squishing you. Or a person in passing that just stands way too close to you or walks way too near to you on the sidewalk. We encounter these people every day.
All right, so this one was made by Lexi. She's a 21-year-old girl from New York. She works part-time at Target. She dreams about becoming an animator someday. We have about 700,000 movies exported and shared on social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, per month. So this is one of them.
Wow, cool. All right, let's run through the last clip. Keep getting this guy. Oh, yeah, no.
Cameron.
Oh my god.
Cameron, and you see this video?
Roommate, sorry.
All right. Good night, Charles.
Good night, Dane.
Yo, it's a good night song for when you're going to sleep. You can sing along, just try not to make the beat. It's a good night song for when you're going to sleep. You can sing along, just try not to make the beat. Good night song.
I don't think your headphones quite connected.
Oh, what was that?
Your headphones. I don't think they connected to your phone.
Oh, no, they didn't. I was wondering why they sounded so distant. Well, sorry about that.
Yeah, you're all good, man. All right. Good night.
Good night. Yo, it's a good night song for when you're going to sleep. You can sing along. Just try not to make the beep. It's a good night song for when you're going to sleep. You can sing along. Just try not to make the beep. Good night song. Yo, it's a good night song.
Go to bed.
Sorry.
Okay, one last time.
Thank you.
So yeah, this last one was created by Christian. He's from Northern Europe. I think he's from Buffalo. 18-year-old kid, just came out of high school. He doesn't consider himself an artist per se, but he did all of that on his own on an iPad. Composed the music, created the characters, everything. Was done in about 2 weeks.
Love it. And story-wise, I can relate because I have kids and they do that to each other all the time. Go to sleep.
Catchy tune.
Yes. All right, Mr. Kijik. I'm going to show your reel, and then you will tell us about yourself.
Terraforming, four corners of paranormal, get joined for a thermos and parathermals in a warehouse airwares, dairy curdle, St. Vincent de Paul trying to square the circle the source of his power. Foresight born at the corner of Howard on sale. Cherry pick blue in the pail, it's a blue nose chew in his tail, losing his coat, schmooze in a high in a head rush, hack up bile over H1N1 and then some. One eye on the breadcrumbs, other eye on the drink crumb, other eye on the income. Good knife in the grin, shoot dice with the lice and the ringworms. Peg leg, smells like Medellin, wake in the night, make a pipe out of anything. Take 5, take a dive in the cellar plane. Turn 5 in a 5, 6, 7, 8. Back out, black out somewhere fancy. Shake in the backseat of Aesop's Camry, dude. Seat for the chips and sandwich meat from the crypt in the end. If you give an address and a rib or a don't question a mystery fish. Just picture shrimp on a pillow with grits. Close your eyes, lick your lips. I'm at the cafe ordering a cup of fresh. Sarah gave me 2, I gave 1 to Rex. She said fools ain't plus the pigs. They can never understand what Sumner is. Word up, word up. Word up, I'm off the grid, I'm through the gate. I fly these kites into the fray. Word up, word up. Word up, I'm out the box, I'm through the mud. I fly these kites into the cut. Word up.
Okay.
Take it away, Kevin.
Yeah. So that was an amalgamation of a lot of different things. So I run 2 companies actually. So that's from my multimedia company. It's called Kijik Multimedia, and we do branding on one side. So that's working with clients everywhere from market research, figuring out what they need, logos, websites. We do branded content. So that's everything from commercials to branded films to branded documentaries. We put on events and we cover events. And then the other side of the company is more entertainment. And so we do documentaries. Clip of that is from one of our documentaries about Haiti that has Josh Brolin and Diane Lane and Madeline Stowe, Maria Bello. We have a feature film that's in post-production. That's a live action feature film. It's a psychological thriller. We have another documentary that should be done by the end of this year about one of Miami's biggest Black artists. And then we have a docu-reality show that we're pushing out as well. And so that company does a lot of different things. I also have an immersive and experiential media company. So that company does everything from augmented reality, virtual reality. I can say one of the main focuses of both companies is storytelling. I think storytelling is vital. This new future, so I just moderated a panel and helped to put together a panel on the future of entertainment. I feel that every filmmaker, every content creator, anyone in the industry needs to have an understanding of the tenets of animation, meaning there's basic components, and those components are, you know, putting together storytelling elements. Now it's working with software like Unreal Engine, Unity, but even Maya, 3D Studio Max, Krita, which is a for free animation tool. The list goes on and on. All of these tools are really going to play into this new pathway towards what the industry is turning into, what it's going to be. I mentioned devices like the Apple Vision Pro, the MetaQuest 3, different storytelling devices. My friend right here with his app is another example. There's really this convergence of all of these dynamics into one cohesive industry. I don't want to talk about AI more specifically. It's a tool, but understanding how to utilize these tools in service of your story or the story that you're creating is going to become easier in some ways. But my friend Prashant, who's in the audience right now, he said it so eloquently. If you don't have an understanding of what's coming, what did he say? You're going to meet the highway? How did he say?
You want to say it again?
Yeah. Yeah, get out of the way. There you go. Get out of the way. I said meet the highway. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And so, you know, I'm very excited about what's to come.
Yeah.
But those tools help you to, not just the tools, but an understanding help you to create.
Yeah.
What's here to what you can see up there.
Well said. Thank you, Kevin. All right. So watch this. Before I flip it back to Maggie, I want to find out what that picture was about, Adri, that kept popping up. So I'm going to bring this up, and then you can frame it for us.
So one of those movies you saw, I think it was the first one, the Lemonade, which, spoiler, it was not Lemonade. I don't know if you got that. But that kid in Strasbourg, France, he doesn't have much opportunities yet. There's no animation studios in a small town in France. So he needs to put his stuff out there. He already has 500,000 followers on YouTube, bunch of million views already. So this guy, he's not thinking just about his animation, his scripts. He's doing the music. He's doing everything himself, of course. But he's also thinking about how to maximize his IP, right? Without even knowing. He doesn't talk about IP or anything like that. But he just said, I'm building plush dolls, and I'm going to start selling those on Shopify or so. So his business model includes, I think that's just probably an early version of what he's trying to sell. But yeah, a prototype. Yeah, probably a prototype. But yeah, so in where I come from, the tech world, these kids, their way of thinking about how to make a living out of animation is that doll right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
IP.
Yes.
Yeah. Smart. So, Maggie, speaking of IP, what are you looking for in terms of new content for Canela? If they're obviously you have a great relationship with iKartoons, and you guys are already doing great work together. But in general, what is the mandate from Canela in terms of content you're looking for and the audience you're looking to serve?
So on the main platform, I think they reached a very good success rate with niche programming, focusing on soap opera stars, and they did a big franchise called Secretos de Villanas and Secretos de las Indomables. So in the main platform, they look for that kind of celebrity, never before seen kind of show. And then for Canela Music, I think they focus a lot on events like South by Southwest. They see an opportunity there with, Hispanic talent. For Canela Deportes, they were highly focused on bringing up-to-minute, updates on everything with La Copa America. They kind of rode that wave. And on Canela Kids, which I run, and I've headed up since the beginning, we are just looking to tell stories. We're looking for those partners, those collaborators that are going to teach kids how to speak English and Spanish and celebrate being Hispanic. Like, we have a show that we started this year with someone that we had on another show, in which we were co-producers of their season 2 called Club Mundo Kids. So Romina, hola Romy, she was kind of like laying around in her house with her infant, and she said, I'm going to launch a YouTube channel. So she launches this YouTube channel, and she doesn't mention it to me, which I'm always looking for content. And I said, I want to take that content and put it on my platform. I said, but there's different ways of doing business. I can acquire it from her. I can do a rev share. I can do a lot of different things. So we put it on our platform, and it's the #1 show in the U.S., apart from Superellas, of course. Wow. It's been the #1 show. It's picking up in Mexico and Colombia. And then we have an exciting project coming up next month for back to school that I really can't talk about it yet, but you guys are going to be really excited if you jump back on our platform and check back in August. It's all about teaching kids how to speak English and Spanish, and also about culture, things about Latin America that we may or may not know. There's a lot of people from Latin America in the U.S. It's our biggest influx of people coming. And we want to make sure that we address everyone from Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Ecuador, everybody. We want to be inclusive of everyone. The only place that we are not in right now is Brazil. But we're thinking that if we can distribute Superellas, we might be able to be in that market very soon. And just to mention that I didn't mention at the beginning, Superellas might be a little show that people look at and be like, oh, that's cute. But it's a heavyweight. It won in season 1 a Gracie Award, and it won a Silver Telly, and it was nominated 4 times over. So we see the value in continuing to produce and picking up our production values. That's why we went to iKartoons for this next season. And I think that they put as much creative passion into it as we did. We're partners. We don't see them as a work for hire. And we thank Peter and his team for that. I'm really thankful for it. And I'm speaking on a personal note right now that you guys really made our vision come to life. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Well said. So, Camilo, just to kind of jump on that in terms of your relationship now with Canela, and also, right, as a studio, what kind of content are you looking to develop and produce? You can speak more creatively, but obviously from a business standpoint.
Right. So working with Canela has been I think you've seen you've seen how we evolved and how we became great partners. So just to mention that I didn't mention it before, we developed 2D and 3D. Basically, the way we approach businesses is that we get inspired by our clients, and then we let ourselves be inspired what the reason why they come to us and share with us all the stories, and how we just bring them into the animated world. So we make sure that we understand what the client is bringing to the table. But another part of how we approach business is more towards the talent that we have within our company. We have to make sure we take care of them so that they understand how to communicate with the client, how to be on the calls every week, how to understand if changes happen, how to pivot and understand preferences and what things might change throughout the project. So that's very critical for us to deliver and to make sure that we meet the client's expectations. And with all of that will has allowed us to bring out the highest potential of the animators, the artists, and the creators, no matter where they are. Yeah. If it's the U.S., Mexico, or anywhere else, we just have to make sure that we transfer the right culture, the right message from internally, but also from the customers to the animators and people that are not physically next to us working every day in an office, but they understand what the client is looking for and what we as the leading team in Miami is expecting of them.
Yeah, that was a good answer. So before I switch it back to our future of entertainment guys over there, I wanted to ask you, because this topic came up yesterday about the growth of the U.S. Hispanic market, and particularly the younger generations that grew up in a Spanish-speaking household, but they consume a lot of content in English, but they're still connected to the culture. Is there an opportunity there in terms of bilingual content or even English language content that's geared towards Hispanic American households and the younger people that are either learning English, know English, but still have a connection? Like, what is Canela's take on doing something that potentially could be like in the style of, ¿Qué pasa USA, for example?
It's funny you bring that up because early on in conversations when we were trying to come up as a big platform, what do? We brought up Que Pasa USA because I think it's an iconic show. But when you think about it, I think our audience has evolved so much since that show was around that people are either looking for one or the other. I think that we've seen in the past, Telemundo, for example, take, in their different leaderships, wanting to put English programming and doing that, and it bombed. So I think you're either one or the other. I mean, Peter's laughing; he knows what I'm referring to. No names, and I think it's either one or the other. I mean, we've seen Univision and Telemundo, take their turns being leaders. I mean, every day they come out with a different press release of who's number one. But the truth is, on our platform, and specifically to us, we want to address, the experience of being Hispanic in the U.S. So we offer very high quality Spanish language programming. I know at the beginning, Canela, at the very beginning, because they're 5 years old now since they began. Canela Kids is 2.5 years old, but the main platform is 5 years old. They're celebrating their anniversary this year. They did start off having both Spanish and English, but then they saw and the market research and the cases like the one I mentioned where Telemundo wanted to be both, offering these shows, that there had to either be one or the other. So they stuck, strictly with that. Of course, every service caters more to that West Coast. I think Canela has done a good job of the balancing act of really tailoring to the general, East Coast, West Coast, the middle of the country, Texas, Chicago. We don't cater to just, one coast. We're for everybody. When it comes to Canela Kids, I think it's a little different. I mean, we want it to be strictly 100% in Spanish on our platform. That's always been very near and dear to our founders. Isabel Rafferty Zavala, who founded the company, and her husband, Michael Rafferty. They have children of their own. They're always telling me, and they'll tell you, they'll be very blunt and very transparent. I don't like this, I like this. And they tell you what their kids are watching. So I always call them the Rafferty Club because I get a lot of comments from them in terms of what they like and don't like. Even when I'm trying to figure out something that I think may or may not work, I send it over to get their feedback. So I think the experience of being here in the US, I think it's important at a young age for, to start on the kids' side to really kind of drill, bilingual is important. It opens up jobs, it opens up opportunity. This is who we are. We shouldn't be speaking one language or the other. We should be bilingual. I mean, my kids are bilingual. They don't speak it all the time, but I listen to them and I say to them, it's important to continue to practice. And I myself, I've lived in Miami my whole life. I was born and raised here. I'm a third generation Floridian. And I was not allowed to speak English in the house during certain times. I was told to speak Spanish. And I think that did me a huge favor in being someone who can read and write almost perfectly. I don't think anyone is perfect. And it gives me an advantage over other people. So, if I'm looking for a job or if somebody's looking for someone that speaks Spanish and that is, with superellas, we have to be very careful. Detail is incredible. Our team, our iKartoons was incredible with these things, Is that right? Does that accent go there? We have to be careful. Anybody could be watching. There could be a Spanish teacher. There could be a comment coming into our, our mailboxes saying, hey, you guys messed up. We don't want to be part of that story. We want to be a positive story. And I think we're doing a good job on the Canela Kids side specifically of really giving that opportunity with these shows that we have that teach English and Spanish, like Hola Romy, our upcoming back to school production. And then we do other things that are intentional too, that help parents, in the US and across Latin America with our collaboration with Storybook. Storybook app has over, 3 million subscribers, featured on the App Store, founded by an Ecuadorian couple. And we have only partnered with those people that we think are going to help us kind of push our agenda forward in terms of learning and making parents' lives easier across the board.
Very well said. Yeah, that was excellent. All right, Adri, talk a little bit about obviously the users that you serve and their audience, right? Because it seems that for the most part, your app is used for social content, right? TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and how that world is evolving.
Well, yes, exactly. So we are not an animation studio, so we're not really monitoring what's going out there. But we definitely focus and highlight on storytelling and artists who want to actually create value content, right? There's other animations out there which are making 500 million views per month, but we don't really even understand what's going on there, honestly. These are like 12-year-old kids, which, I mean, they're like in the future, right? But our audience is mostly kids aged 13 to 18, which, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big, it's teenagers. It's a pretty big gap, though. It's not the same 13-year-old as a 17, 18-year-old, but that's our core audience of users, and they are mostly producing these movies, sharing them directly on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, more than ever. And in return, they get followers, views, and some of them, though, most popular, most successful ones, they tend to start thinking about optimizing those that following, whether it's selling merch or going on Patreon and adding limited content or sort of behind the paywall content, paid content, aside from what they can get on YouTube. So they are learning about this new business of animation on their own, and they're doing it all themselves. Yeah.
As kids do nowadays, right?
Exactly.
When my 5-year-old was 2, can grab my iPhone, open, find the kids app, click on it, swipe it. I'm like, who taught you how to do that? Right. It's just in their DNA now, essentially. So, Kevin, I want you to talk a little about Xavatar, because that's also very innovative animation technology that you're incorporating and how that's used to create this next generation of content.
Yeah. So, I talked about the future of entertainment and what's coming down the pipeline. So, what's interesting about Xavatar, we have 3 pillars. So one of the pillars is AI-driven, and this is animated, AI-driven, autonomous, real-time reactionary avatars that you'll be able to download. We have a show that's going to be on the Ovation Television Network and the Up Television Network. We're also in talks with Access and Aspire. Aspire is a network that Magic Johnson started. Access is Ryan Seacrest. And so you'll be able to watch this show, which is an animated show that takes place on a space station set. It's a variety talk show. So all of the hosts are avatars. Our main host is this actor named Colin O'Donoghue that was on this show called Once Upon a Time that my wife loves. I hate the show. The visual effects is terrible. And it's 2 other hosts. The guests are avatars as well, and then you'll be able to attend the show as your avatar self. And so we interview celebrities. We just did an interview with William Shatner, if anyone knows who that is.
Of course.
About 3 weeks ago. He's a sharp guy, and so, for example, William Shatner, when you're watching his episode, you'll see a lot of the things that he's talking about. So after the show, you'll be able to go to the environments of the celebrities. So in William Shatner's case, he talks about his theater experiences. So maybe we'll recreate one of the theaters that he performed in. We won't be able to do Star Trek because that'll be too cost prohibitive.
Back to IP.
Yeah, back to IP.
Expensive IP.
But I'll give you an example. We interviewed George Clinton. We had a live at Cannes Film Festival where we debuted this whole thing. So George Clinton came down in his mothership. And so you'll be able to go to that mothership. You'll be able to see some of the things that he talked about. You'll be able to take it out into space and explore space, play different games. And then you'll be able to meet George Clinton. We're still in talks, but potentially meet George Clinton himself there in that as his avatar self and you as your avatar. And so these are all interesting ways to take the technology that is happening and utilize that technology to help tell stories. Yeah. We're building an app right now, so maybe we'll talk about that. We're building an app that goes along with that, so you'll be able to activate a lot of this on the app, but across your devices. So it's not just virtual reality, it's on your cell phone, It's on your tablet. It's on your computer. As I said, you'll be able to watch the show, and some people will be able to attend the show, like I said, as their avatar selves and see themselves. And so, it's an exciting era because you're able to do a lot of these things, in real time.
Yeah.
You'll be able to experience a lot of these places just as your avatar self in a lot of different ways. So it's really exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats. So we have a few minutes for Q&A. Do you mind if we take some questions from the audience?